Well, how's it going, guys? That's right. The Crusader's back finally with another video. And I got to call out some influencers because it's like I see all these people on the internet, these talking heads, and they're giving bad advice. And I'm going to give you my take on it. And then you can decide what you think and make sure you leave it in the comments what you think. Love to hear it. What I want to talk about is the housing market. I want to talk about reventure consulting and this other guy, real estate mindset. These guys have been calling for a housing crash since 2021. And they have built followings, legit followings, by telling people not to buy a house. The housing market is going to crash, and you got to wait because then you're going to be able to get whatever house you want after that crash, after said crash. And I've got to give them credit. They pump videos out like grease lightning. The only problem is they've just been wrong for what is it? It's been about 4 years now, and they just keep going, and no one calls them out on it. Well, I'm here today to call them out on it right now. Listen, guys. I know you think I'm just your average everyday superhero, but I know a thing or two about real estate. I own multiple houses, multiple rental properties, some of them which are 100% paid for, by the way. So I know a little bit about this. This is what I'm going to say. For all the people that bought houses back in 2020 when things were going up, they made out. It was competitive. It sucked. I was one of those people. I frantically went in and tried to buy a house and I had to overbid and all that kind of stuff, but it ended up working out for me. And the reason was is because the interest rates were low. These two clowns, they can't wrap their brains around the fact that housing prices are not going to come back down to pre-pandemic levels. That's not going to happen. I'm going to tell you why. Number one, and this is a big one, the money supply has gone up exponentially since then. They have been printing money like crazy. The dollar is worth less. We all know this. We all know this. That's the last time you guys have tried to go to McDonald's or try to get groceries or hell, try to do anything. It's like things cost way more. It never goes in the opposite direction. We're not going to get 1950s prices ever again, okay? Hate to break it to you. So it's like, one thing I will say is that the housing market has slowed down because of the interest rates being high and the economic certainty. That's a big one right there. Because of the tariffs, everybody's freaking out. People are selling stock. They don't know what to do. It's like Trump says they're going to have a tariff, sell. And then it's like, oh no, they made a deal. Oh, buy. So it's like, it's going haywire. But one thing I will say is that buying real estate, especially if you're going to live in it, that is one of the best, most solid decisions you can make because you're going to be leveraging your monthly payments on things as far as cost of living. You're leveraging that into building an asset. Now, I would not recommend buying a house if you can't afford it. You should be able to put at least 20% down, and you should be able to make sure that you can afford the payments. But, if you can do that and you see a house that you like and you see that it's in an area that you like in a good school district, I would say buy it. Like this crash that everybody's hoping that's going to happen where it's like all these people that bought before are going to then get foreclosed on and all that kind of stuff. That's not going to happen. I'm going to tell you why. Because the vast majority of the people who bought that, who are in their houses right now, they have low interest rates that they can't afford. They're not going to get rid of them. If they put their houses on the market, which a lot of them are, trying to see if they can get because they want to move or whatever, that doesn't mean they have to sell it. So let's just be clear. In order for a housing market crash to happen, houses need to be listed for a price that is low, and then they must sell for a price that's low. If they just are listed and then if they don't sell and then the listing's removed, that doesn't mean shit. That doesn't mean shit. So that's one of those things that like these guys, they want to take all their data and talk about how it's like, oh yeah, listings are up, inventory's up, and all this kind of stuff, and prices are coming down. There are price cuts, yeah, but it's not these huge crashes that they've been predicting for the past. I mean, Reventure, he's pushing 5 years that he's been saying that a crash is going to happen, and he's been dead wrong, and he's amassed a following. I'll tell you what the real story is. Both these turds have apps that they're basically, this is their whole bread and butter right here. I figured it out. They go on, they make crash videos acting like they know information that other people don't, and then they start leading people to their app for them to sign up for their app, and I'm sure that that's where You sign up for their app, and then people can nerd out on that all day, every day, and then they get paid. I figured it out, because in all actuality, it's honestly insane for people to keep saying things that just aren't true. They're clearly not true if you can look, and people don't, they are able to amass big followings. I mean, to me, it's nuts. And the comments section is honestly, to me, that it just blows me away, because people are in there acting like, oh yeah, it's going to get worse and all this kind of stuff. Let me tell you something right now. When it comes to real estate, there is a certain price point that investors will not let it go past that, because investors will just start buying up all the property. Like what happened in 08. I was there. I did it. I lived it. I bought a house back in 2011, back when people were all bidding over, it was like short sales and all that craziness. It was a bidding war, but it was like bidding wars on the deals is what ended up happening. Bring your highest and best and all that kind of stuff. That sucked too. So what I'm saying is it's not, houses aren't ever going to be free. So if you're waiting for that, then just keep waiting. I don't know what to tell you. They're not going to be free. Buying a house, especially one that you live in, is one of the most solid investments you can make. And I'm going to tell you guys something else right now as far as prices are concerned. If you want to get the best deal, I'm going to give you guys a gem right now. You need to go to the major builders who are building new construction right now. I'm going to tell you why. Because builders that, like Lennar, one of the biggest builders in the country, they build houses on a track in a development. They're building houses regardless if people buy them. They have to build. They have a map. And it's like, all right, these are the houses they're building, and that's what's happening. You want to buy one? Great. If not, all right, maybe the next guy will. Like, there is no customization. It's not like you're going in and you get to pick out everything. No. They just start building. And what happens is when they start building like that and they've got houses that are sitting, they got to get that off their books. So that's when they start doing the steep discounts, like paying for closing costs, like buying down interest rates, like taking money off the price. They're desperate to get rid of those houses because they've got to keep building. They've got a schedule they got to keep. Whereas if you try to buy a house from somebody who, just some guy that owns a house, he's not going to be able to do that for you. And he's not going to be able to come down as far because he's going to say, screw it, I'll just keep the house. I'll wait till the price goes up and then sell it then. Whereas the Lennar, they can't keep the house. The builders, they got to move them. So they're way more likely to take money off. I'll tell you something else. If you buy a house in a new construction development, that's new, that's under construction, that's like still, got bulldozers and all that kind of stuff, you're going to get the best deal because a house that's in an under construction area isn't going to sell for as much as a house that's in a fully developed area where there's no construction, where the amenities are there and all that kind of stuff. So when you buy in, you're instantly going to get equity in 2 years because as the development matures, as the amenities go in, then it's going to raise in value. The people who buy at the end, those are the people, when it's all done, those are the people, they don't get as much equity as the guys who bought in early when it was all under construction. Granted, you're going to have a house that's, got bulldozers. You got to hear, all concrete people going by and everything on the street and everything. But you only got to go through that for maybe, 2 years? And then, boom, once that's done, everybody's going to be, your house is instantly worth more. I'm telling you, I've seen it. I've lived it. I'm rocking, I'm rolling. I'm not one of those guys that's on the sidelines. And I would hope that the people out there know that there's no one in this world, if you're trying to build wealth, if you're trying to get somewhere, you're never going to get there by doing nothing. You have to be proactive and you have to go out and take your shit. All right? Nothing will ever come to you in this world. I don't care what those two clowns say. Nothing ever comes to you. You need to go to it. All right? That's all I got. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe. Crusader out.